Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoy this one. Please like and subscribe, or we will revert back to the Dark Ages. The wind howled a mournful dirge across the vast, snow-dusted Ukrainian landscape. Viacheslav Kovalskyi, call sign Wall, pressed himself deeper into the frozen earth, the frigid air biting at any exposed skin. The wind was a constant companion, a whispering reminder of the unforgiving environment that had become his battlefield. He was a sniper, a hunter in a war he never wanted, a silent guardian watching over his ravaged homeland. Before the war, Vyacheslav had been a different man. He was a businessman, successful and driven, with a young family he adored. He loved fly fishing, spending peaceful hours on the riverbank, the rhythmic casting, a meditative escape from the pressures of everyday life. But that life, like so many others, had been shattered by the brutal invasion. He'd kissed his wife and daughter goodbye, a promise etched in his heart to return to them, and traded his fly rod for a rifle. He was a natural, calm under pressure, with an uncanny ability to judge distance and wind. Vyacheslav quickly distinguished himself as a marksman. He possessed the patience of a predator, able to remain motionless for hours, waiting for the perfect shot. He volunteered for a sniper unit, knowing his skills could make a difference, could protect his people. Now, months into the conflict, he lay hidden in a carefully concealed position, his custom-built rifle, a meticulously maintained Remington M700 chambered in, 408 Shaytak, cradled in his arms. The optical sight, a sophisticated piece of equipment, magnified the distant landscape, revealing a world teeming with danger. He was part of a small team, a spotter named Dmytro by his side, their lives intertwined in the deadly dance of war. Winds picking up, Wall, Dmytro murmured, his voice barely audible above the swirling gusts. Dmytro was the steady hand, the calm voice of reason. He was Wall's eyes and ears, constantly feeding him information, calculating wind speed, humidity, and other environmental factors that could affect the trajectory of a bullet. Vyacheslav adjusted his scope, his breath fogging against the lens. He was searching for a specific target, a group of enemy soldiers who had been terrorizing the local villages, responsible for countless atrocities. Intelligence had placed them somewhere in the distance, a logistical hub disguised as a farm. Hours crawled by. The sun began its slow descent, casting long, eerie shadows across the snow-covered fields. The cold seeped into his bones, but Vyacheslav remained focused, his mind a steel trap, calculating every possible variable. He knew that, with a shot like this, there was no room for error. Suddenly, Dmytro nudged him. Contact. Grid square. 3-4 Alpha. 5 hostile soldiers. Believed to be the command element. Vyacheslav peered through his scope. There they were. 5 figures moving around a parked truck, their faces obscured by distance and shadows. They were clearly in charge, barking orders, their movements radiating an air of authority. The distance was staggering. Over 3,800 meters, an almost impossible shot. The current world record for the longest confirmed sniper kill was held by a Canadian sniper who had eliminated a target at 540 meters in Iraq in 2017. To even attempt this was audacious, bordering on reckless. "Can you do it, Wall?" Dmytro asked, his voice laced with concern. Vyacheslav didn't answer immediately. He studied the target, his mind racing, calculating the bullet drop, the wind drift, the effect of Coriolis force at such an extreme range. He considered everything, every tiny detail that could influence the outcome. He took a deep breath, trying to calm his racing heart. This wasn't just about breaking a record. This was about protecting his country, about avenging the innocent lives lost. This was about sending a message that no one was safe, that justice would find them, no matter how far they ran. "I have the shot," he finally said, his voice calm and steady. "Prepare the data." Dmytro worked quickly, feeding Vyacheslav the necessary calculations. The air crackled with tension. They both knew the risks. If they missed, they would be exposed, their position compromised. Vyacheslav adjusted his rifle, making minute adjustments based on Dimitro's data. He focused on his breathing, slowing his heart rate. He needed to be perfectly still, his mind clear of any distractions. He selected his ammunition, specially designed, 408 Shaytak rounds, each one meticulously crafted for long-range accuracy. He chambered a round, the metallic click echoing in the silence. He targeted the highest-ranking officer among the group, the one giving the orders. He settled the crosshairs on the center of the man's chest, knowing that at this range, even a slight movement could send the bullet spiraling off course. He paused, holding his breath, feeling the weight of the moment. He thought of his wife, his daughter, their faces etched in his memory. He thought of his homeland, bleeding but unbroken. With a final, silent prayer, he squeezed the trigger. The rifle roared, the sound echoing across the desolate landscape. The recoil slammed against his shoulder, but he held his position, watching through the scope. The bullet traveled through the air, a tiny speck of metal, defying gravity and the elements. It took what felt like an eternity, almost 10 seconds, for it to reach its target. Then, it happened. The officer crumpled to the ground. The other soldiers froze, then scattered in panic, their confident demeanor shattered. Dimitro let out a whoop of joy, clapping Viacheslav on the back. "You did it, Wall. You did it. That's gotta be a record." Viacheslav didn't celebrate. He simply lowered his rifle, his face grim. He knew this was just one battle in a long and brutal war. There would be more targets, more lives to protect. "Let's move," he said, his voice low. "We need to relocate before they pinpoint our position." They packed up their gear quickly and silently, disappearing into the snow-covered landscape. As they moved, Viacheslav couldn't help but feel a sense of accomplishment. He had done his duty. He had protected his people. News of the record-breaking shot spread quickly through the Ukrainian ranks, boosting morale and inspiring hope. Viacheslav Kovalskyi, Wall, became a legend, a symbol of Ukrainian resilience and determination. Later, after the mission, Viacheslav received confirmation from intelligence that his shot had indeed been the longest confirmed sniper kill in history, exceeding the previous record by over 260 meters. He was lauded as a hero, a national icon. But for Viacheslav, the accolades were secondary. He was a soldier fighting for his country, for his family. The record was just a byproduct of his dedication and skill. The war continued, and Viacheslav continued to fight. He faced countless dangers, witnessed unimaginable horrors, but he never lost his resolve. He was driven by a fierce love for his homeland and an unwavering belief in the ultimate victory. Years later, after the war had finally ended, Viacheslav returned home to his family. The reunion was joyous and tearful, a culmination of years of sacrifice and longing. He held his wife and daughter close, promising them that he would never leave them again. The scars of war remained, etched on his heart and mind, but he was determined to rebuild his life, to find peace and healing. He returned to his love of fly fishing, finding solace in the tranquility of the river. He never forgot the war, the friends he had lost, the sacrifices he had made. He carried the weight of those experiences with him, but he also carried the hope for a better future, a future where his children could grow up in peace and freedom. Viacheslav Kovalskyi, the Ukrainian sniper who broke the world record, was more than just a soldier. He was a husband, a father, a patriot, a symbol of courage and resilience in the face of unimaginable adversity. He was a testament to the human spirit's ability to endure and to triumph, even in the darkest of times. His story would be told and retold, a reminder that even against overwhelming odds, one person with skill, determination, and unwavering love can make a difference. He proved that even from an impossible distance, hope, like a carefully aimed bullet, could find its mark. Thank you for listening, and remember to like and subscribe. The Dark Ages sound cool until your head is on a